characters and the characters themselves are not allowed to connect with the storyline, so they don't really have a background of just being there saying the lines and what they need to do just to get the story across.
You tend not to like have the characters don't actually have names. They're not named people, like there's a sergeant and stuff like that, and they're just called a sergeant. They're not people. They're not. It's like they don't matter, but they do. They've still got such a massive role, but they don't matter.
And the unnamed characters, they tend to also add to comedic effects. So when they break out of character, there's often breaking of the fourth wall, which is also comedic, but also it has this hidden message. It's implicit, and the audience often either they can read into it and find out more, or because most of his audience were working class people, they would just they would watch it and be able to relate to it because they were often based on their lives and it's their form of entertainment.
Yeah. So the themes is society and class, which is obviously Mother Courage. It was a pure working class family, and the children had to earn, they had to go out and earn everything for themselves. Another theme was wealth, again money. Warfare, obviously, because it was based in the war times. Warfare was a massive part. And religion was another one that we figured out when we were doing our research.
With religion, Mother Courage seems to swap what religion she is. She goes from Protestant to Catholic all the time, because in the extract with the chaplain, she becomes what he is, and then she decides to change halfway through.
And it was really common during the 16th and the 17th century because poor people were often controlled by what religion they had, so they often sometimes switched if they weren't true to the religion, but they had to stick to one, otherwise they'd be persecuted.
So Brecht's work really is, it's all, he likes to do real life things but in a funny manner, which doesn't really make sense, but it does make sense.
It's dark humour.
Yeah.
Bertolt Brecht was like the person that decided to do the theatre of Brecht so that it didn't include a massive storyline and connection, because he just wanted the information to be told. He was originally German, and he worked for a German theatre company, and that's where he started to do his own stuff, writing plays, poems, and other things. His plays started to go into exile because people weren't seeing what he was trying to do, and they didn't really agree with it.
They didn't appreciate his work. There was no appreciation for his work until really he had a breakthrough, and that's when people started to appreciate Brecht's work.
So the theatre of the absurd, it's post-World War II, and it was written by primarily European playwrights in the late 1950s, and it focused largely on existentialism and expressed what happens when human existence has no meaning. So it was really all about showing the meaninglessness of life
and why we exist.
And why we exist, and that was what it tried to make the audience think about. And some techniques used, there was a lot of repetitiveness, just to show that, you know, the world goes round, nothing really happens. And that's another theme. There's a lot of things that in absurdist plays, nothing really tends to happen. There's no aim, there's no goal of the storyline.
It's not really a point in it, it's just happening. There's not really a reason behind why it's happening.
It's more that the storyline isn't for entertainment purposes, it's for psychological purposes, and it's for the plays that are in absurdist theatre. They're often made for the audience to think more about life and other things rather than
and
think
why
about
things happen the way they do, and why things happen for that reason they happened.
Yeah, they use a lot of broad comedy, horrific and tragic images, which are also there just to make the audience really think. and the characters are mainly in hopeless situations. And the dialogue as well, full of cliches. A lot of it doesn't really make a lot of sense, which also makes them think a lot about what is going on in the scene. There's a lot of wordplay which links with that. The main reasons behind the writing of these plays and why people decided to write them was political, scientific breakthroughs, social upheavals. So it was really based and focused on what was going on in the world at the time. Absurdists had beliefs that life is absurd, that the death and afterlife is also equally absurd, and they also believe that whether people live or they don't live, their lives are just pointless, and that's a point they wanted to get over in their plays, but they didn't want that to be a negative thing. They didn't want to upset their audiences or make them think about it in a negative way. They made people feel very uncomfortable, and they took away comforts of religion and things that people really relied on, and they sort of questioned all of that. And it shocked the audience really, to really put across harsh facts and the reason behind life. And they really wanted to get people to accept the human condition as it is, rather than question it or contradict it. Harold Pinto was one of the main practitioners. He wrote The Caretaker. He was British and he did many other things. He did screenwrites, playwrights, he was a director. And he was born in East London, and a lot of his plays, including The Caretaker, are based there. He was an atheist, and he attended the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, but didn't attend a lot of classes. He dropped out. And he had a nervous breakdown about it. He's been called up in national service, prosecuted for basically not following rules, human condition. And he focused a lot of his things on political issues, and he was a very opinionated person, and he liked to get all that across in his different work. The Caretaker specifically is a play in 3 acts. It wasn't one of his first major works, but it's the most influential, and it tells the story, and it focuses in on social class, and the differences in different characters, and really focuses on relationships between different people and different characters. It focuses on problems of communication, race, social class, current political state in the 1950s, identity, language, deception, and it's very focused on the fact that the main character who is centre stage is lower class, is working class, and that was quite rare at the time.
With Pinter's work, he tend to refer to his own experiences with the war and everything. He'd rather tell the truth of what happened rather than the censored parts that they did have at the time.
And that's it. Thank you for watching.
Thank you very much, you guys.